This is the If More Let's Divide podcast.
Charlie, guys, what happened? Welcome to the If More Let's Divide podcast. I'm back again with the same lingua, and I don't care. I'm not going to change it. Fred, what they go on?
What go on, G?
Yeah, Fred. Another week means we have another guest.
Awesome guest.
coming
Awesome
through.
guest.
So our guest today is another amazing woman, in the words of James Gardner.
Absolutely. I agree.
You know,
I
she
concur.
came onto our screens some years back, 8 years and some change ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I
a
might
decade
be
deep
wrong.
in the game.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I've seen her live so many times. Like, I've been to so many of her concerts, and she's dope live.
I feel you. I have to experience that. I
Yeah.
haven't. So
And she's an amazing actress. Actress. Can I just say actor? Because you know that I stammer.
Yeah, it works for me.
Actress is smooth, but I'm like,
I think actor is one of the words that is gender neutral.
yeah.
really.
Yeah, she's an amazing actress. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Adomaa.
Yo.
Whoop. Charlie, welcome Adomaa. What's up?
I'm good. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I mean, you have seen me before, but you've never seen Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my co-host.
Hi,
Nice to
Fred.
meet you.
Nice to
My
meet
G.
you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I mean, we are here to sing praises and give thanks and
You're
I'm waiting for
going
the
back to
end.
your soul winning days, eh?
because in our presence is Adomaa, so I have to behave.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've never behaved in
Oh,
my
really?
presence, so I don't know why you want to start now. I don't know why you want to start
I have been
now.
touched.
By the Spirit.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Thanks for clarifying. Adomaa, what's up?
I'm doing good, Charlie.
What's happening in your life right now?
Well, just work.
Yeah.
I'm on set, and then I'm also, in and out of the studio as and when.
Acting is keeping you busy nowadays.
Very busy, yeah. It's almost like my 9 to 5.
Really?
Yeah,
Back to back.
sometimes.
Do you have free days?
Oh yeah, I do.
You do have
I
free
do.
days.
I do like
So, would you take acting over singing now since you're busy?
That's a very interesting question, and I say this because so I'm part Ghanaian and Nigerian, so it's like asking me to choose between Ghana and Nigeria. I can't. They're both me. So yeah, acting and music is like the same.
But
I can't.
okay,
That was an interesting thing I didn't know we were going to get to it that quick, but the Ghana Niger part.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
Navigating what sense?
As in, do you get a lot of choose one kind of
nah,
vibes?
I
or-
think many
No, I
people don't
can't.
know she's from Nigeria.
I have no idea if people know that or not, but I don't hide it.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't hide it.
But if you're supposed to choose one,
I
which one?
can't. So I should go home and go and fight with my mom or dad.
But you
I
look
can't.
well.
I can't do that.
You look very Ghanaian in a good way.
I was gonna say.
Like normally when I see the Ghana Niger mix, you can pick some.
Yeah, some.
So maybe your mom is very Ghanaian in her own way.
Is she really? My mom is actually light skinned, so I feel like I look like my dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. typically.
But you have lived in
Yeah, I
Ghana
think you look
all
like
your life.
No, I was born in Nigeria. I was raised
Wow.
in Nigeria. I spent my growing up basically in Nigeria. I moved to Ghana when I was like 15 or 16.
Oh wow!
Yeah. But prior to that, I was in Nigeria.
So where did
So-
the accent go?
Where did the acting?
The accent.
Accent. I've been here for a while. Oh. Back then when I was in school, I went to Wesley Girls High School.
Okay.
So like Form 1 day, my first
Yeah,
term.
then the gay, they see the gay, they move.
The first term, the anytime I talk, we used to laugh because like I
Really?
didn't realize like I'll be there saying a communication. Some words that I used to say, like I wouldn't say words, I would say words. You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, I used to make people laugh, but I still have an accent. It's just that it comes when I'm angry.
Okay.
So like if I get very pissed and I'm like, yeah, you hear my Niger
You
accent.
get pissed like that?
Not really.
Oh.
So but it's there. Anytime I like get angry, then you can hear the Niger smoke.
Did you get a combo name? Are you Adomaa or do you have a Nigerian
Oh
version?
yeah. My
Which one?
full name is Joy
Okay.
Onyinye Chuku Adomaa Sewa Ajiman.
Onyinye Chuku means?
God's gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's some democracy in your household.
God's
That's what's fair.
gift.
Yeah. I mean, you got both sides.
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
God's gift. God's gift. God's gift.
You said it, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds apt to me, you know, because some years ago, about 8 years ago, I saw a video of you, and I thought that was fire. Prior to that, I think I had heard of you, or I had seen you through my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. Like somewhere, it sounds somewhere in some restaurant. I don't want to give anyone the props. Yeah, is acting making more money than music?
To be very honest, yes. To be very honest. To be very, very honest, yes. It's very, yes. I'm not even going to sugarcoat. Yes. Yes.
So, are you giving more attention to music?
I'm giving
Hey,
attention
to your acting than music.
I wouldn't say so, because my acting schedule is like a schedule, like I said, it's like a 9 to 5. So like I have, and they send the schedules ahead of time, so I know what my week generally looks like.
Okay.
So, and I don't shoot every day. Like majority of the time I'm on set, but like I also have free time, so I'm able to schedule both. So I wouldn't say I'm giving one more attention than one, but one certainly does pay more than one. That one,
Are you on multiple shows now, or is a full blown like series, and that's why you have to have a schedule?
Yes, it's a full-blown series.
Okay.
Full-blown, yeah.
Okay. So it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's still running. It's airing. We're shooting.
Is it?
Wow.
Yeah, we're a few episodes ahead of what is on TV.
I've seen you so many times on stage. I've heard you on wax. And I like what you do. Suddenly, I hear you are acting. Right? Mm-hmm. Which came first? Acting or music?
In general?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say from when I was very little and I started to watch movies and started to understand like just the concept of like watching a movie, I was very intrigued that some of the actors I would see in one film, I'd watch another one, it's like it's the same person, but like it's a whole different universe. And so aside from the story, I was very interested in like, why is this person here? Why are they acting as if like the person is like, I know you here. And so I was very interested, and then I realized that it was acting, like it's a whole career on its own. So I was very intrigued and I wanted to know more. So I'd say I've been very passionate and interested in acting for a very long time, when I was really little. Singing, on the other hand, yeah, acting came first. Singing, on the other hand, I've always loved music. I've always loved to listen to music. I've loved to sing. But I never thought that I was good enough to become an artist, like to make it a profession. So that never crossed my mind, even though I grew up in a very, very musical family. Like my entire family sings or has some musical inclination. But I didn't know that I wanted to act for a very long time. So yeah.
Somewhere, so talking about acting, somewhere in 2010, 2011, you went for an audition.
Hey,
the next movie star.
You've done you have done your homework. Wow. I don't think Hey, so where did you find this out?
Yeah,
I mean, set it up like an exam question.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2011.
2011, right?
Yeah.
So I was right. When you were going into that audition room,
Yes.
how was the feeling like?
I was very nervous, but I was super excited at the same time. Because for me, I'd never gone for any audition before. I had just been in my room practicing, monologues in front of my mirror. And I was very shy, so it's not like a lot of people knew I could do this. So for me, it was a challenge to myself. The judges in the panel are basically from Hollywood. And like that's where everybody aspires to be, like in the entertainment industry. So if I'm able to audition in front of these guys and they say yes, it means it validates something I feel like I've already loved and wanted to be part of. So I was very nervous, but it's like, yeah, I really hope they say yes. Because if they said no, then to be like, okay, maybe you like it, but maybe you're not so good at it. Yeah. And it was very, very scary because the audition, the people came for the audition. You know, there were some actors, like well-known names. I'm not mentioning names. There were actors.
Should I mention names
No,
for you?
please. No, there were actors who were like
Why are we keeping them a
established.
secret?
Because I'm not. I'm a non-shady person.
Oh,
Please. There were actors who were there who came to audition and they said no. So imagine you, the upcomer, seeing your idol go for audition, come out, and you are sitting there. So it's like, what am I doing here? But yeah, I was very, very happy to have made it through the first two rounds.
Oh, nice. That's dope. Talking about acting too, before Fred comes in your Twitter bio, you have the EGOT there.
Yes.
Emmys, Grammys, Oscar, Tonys.
Yes.
Which one do you think you are going to get first?
I don't know.
Or which one do you want to get first?
It doesn't
Which one
matter.
do you wish you could grab first?
It doesn't matter the order.
No.
I just want to
Adomaa.
have all four.
All four.
At some point in my life. It doesn't matter the order. Yeah.
And okay, dope. I mean, everybody is down with the Oscars.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to aspire to that, to have those lofty goals because it drives you. I mean, I'm assuming it gives you some purpose.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to your audition day because you walked in there, you're nervous, you're excited, you're seeing people getting turned down.
Yeah.
What was the response in the room once you were...
Okay, so there were 3 judges.
Okay.
One was like, I think their role, they each picked roles. One was decided to be everybody's fan. So it's like when they go there, they're inspiring you, motivating you. Got this, you can do this, you'll be amazing. Don't be scared, don't be nervous. Another one was just indifferent, does not care, it's like they didn't want to be there. And then the third person was like, you are wasting, you are rubbish. You don't even need to start, you are horrible. So I had these three people there, and like for me, I just decided to focus on the person who's like, I don't know you, but like you're my fan. I'm your fan already. Yeah, and that's what I used to like breeze through. Yeah.
The first one, but did you feel like you got a hang of it once?
For me, I just wanted to. For me, honestly, my goal was that first audition, so I was really happy that happened. I think I got cut by the second one. I think so. Yeah,
okay.
But for me, I felt validated in what I wanted to, like what I came there to achieve. Yeah.
Oh, you were supposed to go. It was sort of like...
So, like regular auditions, you do the first one and then they trim it down to like the final and then they trim it down to the final. Exactly.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's
Got
how
it.
that
Makes
works.
sense.
Yeah.
How was your home like? I mean, large family, small family, like, you know.
Yeah, very large family. And my house has always been open. So I've grown up with a lot of people, like a lot of... I didn't come from...
Is it still open?
No. No, everybody is pretty much grown up now, so like there's nobody coming. Like we are rather going up. But growing up, like my house used to be the house, like the destination for all the kids. Like they wanted to come sleep over, and it was just the fun. I don't even understand.
Your parents
myself.
were that nice?
I think so. I think
Really?
I think part of it was my dad is a pastor, so
Oh, wow.
it was like a mission house. So
Wow.
so
I
like
think the
growing
women
up-
find that one. We have to keep using it.
Your pastor is your father is a pastor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So growing up in a mission house, like, the congregation, everybody
Is
they
that
all have-
why he lets everybody in?
I think so.
Just to be
I would
nice,
I don't think it's just
like,
to be nice. Like
because the Bible says that you have to give shelter
no,
to
I
the
feel
homeless.
I feel like
Unhoused people.
Unhoused.
I feel like even at church, after service, people usually want to talk to the pastor on all of those things. He didn't want to limit it to just church. So at any point in time, anybody can walk in. And then he had a lot of kids too, and like we're children and we have
How many
friends.
kids?
We're 5.
Oh wow. Oh, but that's not a lot
Compared
to our fathers.
What was
actually. Mine had 26 kids. Yeah.
Legend.
And then Fred, yours?
My dad did 7, but my granddad did 77.
What?
And we all
Oh,
want
then
to
I shouldn't
be like
be saying
his
I'm a large.
grandfather.
36 wives. He was working.
Yeah.
Well, that definitely is a job.
So talking about kids, right?
Yeah.
Out of all your siblings, who don't you like at all?
Oh, by you.
No, but when I say who don't you like your least favorite, maybe you might be sneaking out and then he or she will go and choke.
My siblings don't do that.
So you there? Is it because of your dad? Like,
The
don't
thing
choke
is-
your
the thing-
brother and sister. Jesus doesn't like that.
The thing is, I feel like growing up, my parents were not strict, and I feel like for pastors' kids who, there's a saying about pastors' kids how they tear
Go
chain
wayward,
and they
yeah.
go very wayward. I feel like growing up in a household where your parents are like really strict because like the Bible and they have the congregation looking up to you like this, you're the pinnacle, you're the example for
Yeah.
everybody.
First family, basically, for the
Exactly.
church. Yeah.
So everybody's watching your every move. We never really had that. My parents were, of course, we grew up in the faith and everything, but they were very strict. So I've never, and none of my siblings never felt the need to explore or to be like, we've been caged and we need to go out and we need to. Charlie has been the same. Like nobody's, restricting your movements or anything like that.
So like you are close, like to your parents. Like
Yeah.
you guys are very close. You
Yeah.
can talk to them about anything
about
at
anything,
all.
absolutely anything.
Are you the first child?
Yes, I am.
Oh wow!
figured,
Shouts! Wow.
Because
First
God's
ones.
gift sounded like
Yeah.
the first one. Yeah, that came.
You know how they give those names so that God will know that, oh, my son is so thankful for what I've done for them. God's gift.
But imagine how fucked up it would be if there was a child before her that was not named God's gift, and then she comes along and says, "This is God's gift."
This is rather good. That's automatically becomes your favorite.
That makes the first or the person preceding her think, "Oh, so what was I?" So I was like, "Okay, that's
So your father is a pastor, is a bishop, you said,
Yeah,
and your mother.
My mom is a medical doctor.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's usually very interesting when someone is sick at home.
Yeah.
Because,
Do they
like,
pray or do they inject?
We do both.
Oh,
We
wow.
actually
You got
do
to,
both,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But which one would you do first?
I don't think I've ever thought about.
very-
I don't think I've ever
The sequence
thought
of it.
about
Yeah,
I've never-
because if someone is has a fever or a headache or is passing out, like, would you pray for them first or would you give them whatever first? Like, would
I've never
would
really
you
thought
medically attend to them first or would you pray?
So I wouldn't.
Would
I
you
wouldn't.
spiritually attend to them first or medically attend to them?
In my growing up, because I grew up with my granddad. My granddad was the church man. He was
Yeah.
a church elder, and my grandma was a nurse. So not to the same degree, but,
but
the same elements.
yeah.
And I think in my growing up, when you're sick, at first, my granddad, he would take charge and pray. And then my grandma after that will come in and make sure you have the meds and whatnot. But my granddad usually, I think the healing, may he rest in peace, the healing will come from, bro, you go pray till you go talk to you,
But
are healed.
I sometimes, and Adomaa, like, feel free to chip in, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know why human beings pray. Let us be honest and Fred, wait.
I'm
I
listening.
know you're going to. I don't know why human beings pray.
I'm listening to you. I wasn't
And
gonna say
I'm talking, let's take this household where someone is sick and mother is a doctor, father is a pastor.
Yeah.
According to the Bible, God knows what's going to happen tomorrow,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
The Bible says that everything has been laid out.
Yeah.
God knows, according to the Bible, what's going to happen in the next 1,000 years. He's the all-knowing, Alpha and Omega. So why do you waste your time to pray?
Can I answer?
No,
that?
no, wait. I'm not saying waste. Why do you spend your time to pray before doing something that God has given you the brains to think, to go and learn, and to use?
I think the issue here, or no, it's not an issue. the perspective that you have about praying is asking for things. It's like every time somebody's praying, you're asking for things. And so if that is the concept of your praying, then it does not make sense, like you said.
Yeah.
But I will put it in this way. If you're in a relationship, you did talking stage instance.
Yes.
Even at that time, I'm sure, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like before the relationship got to the point where you got married, you knew that you were going to marry this person.
Yeah.
So, but why did you still feel like if you're going to marry this person, why did you still feel like the need like to continue talking to the person and everything?
No,
I
but
don't know for
that
how
is-
long. I don't know for how long you dated before
Yeah,
that happened.
yeah.
Or why didn't you just get there?
But that is dealing with another human being.
Exactly. So
right?
I feel like with God, even though we can't see God, we can't.
Okay.
The most important thing is about it's just it's like your friend.
Okay.
You are talking to your friend.
Yeah.
It's not just about asking for things. But
Yeah.
I feel like if we boil it down to just
Yeah,
asking for things, then
So at that time, when you pray, what are you telling God?
for me, the way I pray, I don't pray very conventionally, like the Heavenly Father knew down. and things.
Yeah.
I pray like I'm having a conversation, like how I'm talking to you, like,
Yeah.
God, what's up?
Yeah.
And this was my day today and
Yeah.
everything. And if
But-
I had a,
Yeah, but someone is dying.
yeah.
That's a specific situation you're describing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm talking
I'm
about.
talking
when
about
somebody's
being
sick.
sick.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm talking about someone being sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what
but the same
then
Bible that
are
you're
you
talking
praying
about,
for?
the Bible speaks about faith healing,
Mm-hmm.
the power of God to intervene. So that aspect of the faith that they are practicing in that
In
moment.
that moment, exactly.
But you said your uncle, your granddad's, prayer never worked.
No, I said you pray till you say you're healed because you literally will get healed. Like after 1 hour, if you know healed,
If you know you are-
then you for die. So you go in there and be like, Charlie, I feel better already. But we hardly, the funny thing is, I don't know I know exactly what you mean because I've been there and I understand the perspective that you have. But what I'll say is maybe where I even, because I'm a person of faith, I can say the word blessed. I'm not trying to imply that other people are not blessed, but my household, we hardly ever went to the hospital. It's just something that,
Yeah, same.
yeah, like, they go pray, they will give you some small medication, you go wake up, you're good. And so I grew up like that. So, I mean, I've never had to be in the hospital or anything like that. And I understand people have had situations where the person is sick, dying, people are praying, and the person goes off. Actually, I lost my uncle that way, so I've experienced it. But it's a thing where, think about it this way. Why do people pray? I think when we feel helpless,
Yeah.
and it's beyond our human capabilities. Your Father in heaven who created all of this, if you have that relationship and that faith in him, your instinct is to call on. It's almost like when your car breaks down, if you're not a mechanic, and you know there's somebody who's trained, who knows all about this Mercedes or this motorbike and can do it. Why be there fidgeting with it when you know you can't do anything but call on him and say, Charlie, Papa mechanic, come and fix my car for me so I can go about my day. So that's how I look at it.
What was it? Do you think? Did you plan to become the Adomaa that we know now, or you think it was a fluke? Since you were more inclined, to the screens than to the stage.
So like how music started for me, like, very unplanned. I used to sing, but like in my I would record like covers.
Church? Do you sing in church?
I was
since
very,
your father?
I had social anxiety, so I didn't sing anywhere. The only place I sang was my bathroom. Like that one, professionally there. I used to sing in my bathroom, very professional. But outside, even in front of my family, I would have an anxiety attack because like I was very shy. But eventually, I did sing in church, but it was very close to. I started singing in church like the later parts of 2014, and then I blew up in 2015. So it wasn't even that long. But how music started for me, basically I used to record on my phone, and someone heard it and put pressure on me, and then we recorded.
The way you said someone. This someone.
Oh,
This ain't
Akwesi.
called-
Akwesi, I would say that Akwesi, a friend of mine.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
Akwesi.
okay.
Basically, heard it and was like, no, you shouldn't be singing. Like, the world should be hearing you. And
Yeah.
I didn't want to listen to it, but like, he put pressure, like, every day. So I felt like, okay, fine. And that's how I did the mashup, and then we recorded it and put it
Have
on
you
YouTube.
given him some of the money that you have made?
Oh, he was my manager.
Oh,
like when he
Was?
Yeah. When I blew up in 2015, he was my manager. But he had to go to school to pursue studies in outside. So yeah.
How did you fight your anxiety?
I feel like that's where music came in. So when I started singing at first, I loved to sing, but singing in front of people was a challenge. So I'd have gigs and in front of people, and there would be a chair, and I don't know if people thought that was part of my stage. This thing it wasn't. It's just if I stood, you see my legs shaking and my hands doing it because it was hard. So in that period, I'm very grateful for Piano Bar. I don't know if you know Piano Bar.
Yeah,
Every Sunday for about 3 months, I went to perform for like 40 minutes.
Where's Piano Bar?
Was that? I don't know. Are they still there?
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
Teshi, around Teshi.
What was happening there?
Yeah, they were having
like
open mic.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I thought it hadn't been done.
Oh, but Fred, back in the day, there were so many open mics.
plenty.
Open mics trained me. Back
Really?
in 2006. There was an open mic called the Lyricist Lounge, jacked off from the original Lyricist Lounge show, in the States. Lyricist Lounge was happening every Thursday. Then there was the Bless the Mic. Then there was an open mic at Jazz Tone back in the day. So yeah.
Are there any more open mic spots?
It's more tight. It's not like open mic where you can go and just go and grab the mic. Right now you have to book and but these were proper open mic sessions. You would go.
Really?
Open mics trained me,
Same.
like, yeah.
Piano Bar. Because I did
Now
that.
they are
like,
gatekeepers to the open mic.
I didn't
Yeah.
know about that.
So like you were going to piano bar
Yeah,
every week.
every week for like 3 months. So the stage frights there, I had to deal with it.
You
So
had
by
to.
the time I did that, after a while, immediately I finished that for the first 3 months. I had my very first concert, like my own concert, and I had it there.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, that was the end
No,
that was the end of stage frights.
Yeah, because that
me.
felt like home to you.
Exactly.
So when you moved to another stage, did you
Exactly.
have a little bit of
No,
anxiety?
no,
So
not
right now
at
you don't
all.
have stage fright.
I still do, but like one of my favorite places, honestly, like my favorite parts of the entire music process is being on stage. And it's weird because that was like my least favorite at the beginning. But yeah, usually like when it's just about to start,
Yeah,
like
when
when they
it's just about
mention
to
and
start, yeah.
introducing Adomaa in the first 5 seconds.
Did you
After
experience
that,
any stage fright coming on you?
Oh no, not at
Okay.
not at all.
Because you are family, right?
Not at-
Hey.
not at all. And I'm also very comfortable in front of the camera, as opposed to like a crowd. So yeah, this is home.
Do you usually film yourself?
Yeah,
when
I
you're
do that.
home,
I do
singing,
that.
acting?
I do that. I just won't post it, but like yeah.
You're conservative with your social media posting?
I wouldn't say conservative. It's just if I'm inspired to put it. I'm very private. I think that's what I'd say. Yeah, very very private. If I'm inspired to post it, then I will. But I do take a lot of them.
So I wanted to ask a question before you escape me about when we were talking about your home life.
Yes.
And you said your house was the house.
Everybody
It had
used
to be.
come. Yeah.
The shrine.
Yeah, because a couple of my uncles are reverends too, so I know the drill. What
Yeah.
they have to do, they have to serve the
Yeah. So everybody,
congregation
yeah.
and all. How did that make you feel as a child?
I grew up there, so like I was used to it. I was used to having people coming around.
It
my
never
friends.
irritated you or annoyed?
No,
Wow.
Not at all.
I'm trying to imagine being in your shoes and constantly, like, maybe you close church, you want to relax more, then now you have to play host to a...
No, so the thing is, it's not like every single minute of every second of the day there were people around. I mean, we still had family time, but like I was used to having people there, like people sleeping over, my friends sleeping over, people coming to say hi. I mean, they do that and then they leave. But I was just, at no point was it like, oh, everybody should just no.
Okay.
Because that's how I might have felt that way if there was a period where we were all very, reserved and we didn't have that, and then all of a sudden it was like a change in dynamics. But then I grew up into this, so it's the only thing I knew. So it's like my normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I'm imagining going through your phone gallery right now and seeing the snippets like of videos that you have, like maybe filming for your series.
Yeah.
you know, and all that.
Yeah.
Do you ever look back at yourself and laugh?
Oh yes.
Do you look back at yourself and say, "Is that me?"
Yes. It's still, even watching the shows that I've been, and it's still very hard to. I'll be watching myself, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm very disassociated
Yeah.
from my character. It's very hard to
Yeah,
look at that
to-
and like, oh, that's me. I watch it like I'm watching regular things. I don't know that person. I'm like,
When you look at yourself, I'm sure you've had quiet times where maybe you have a photo on the wall, you have a video or a picture on your phone. When you look at yourself, who do you see?
in what sense?
Like when you look at yourself, imagining you don't know this person that you are looking at, like you are seeing them for the first time, what would you think of them?
I think
Because to be honest with you, when we meet people, we have our own thing about them in our heads before we start to deal with them,
Right.
based on how they look, how they are dressed, their color, their hair, their earring. You know, it could be anything. So when you look at yourself on that phone, that picture on your phone or on the wall, what are some of the things that come to mind?
I've never really looked at myself and tried to look in that perspective, but based on the journey that I've had, and especially with regards to music and how sudden it came and how I was trying to, for a while I felt like I was trying to balance. There were times when I did look in the mirror and I didn't recognize myself because I still felt like I was trying to figure out a lot of things and it wasn't clear, it wasn't making sense. So I feel like right now, looking at myself, I see a lot of growth. I see someone who has gone through a lot of pain, life experiences, good times, happy times, bad times, scary times, all of those things. But I'm still growing, I'm still learning, still evolving, I'm still, becoming a better person as I continue to live. Yeah. I don't know if that
All of
makes
these
sense, yeah.
experiences as a result of the career path or just your life in
It's
general?
just my life in general.
All right.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like, or I want to understand how a person of faith, coming from the home that you come from and what's
Yeah.
around you,
Yeah.
was there any conflict between your career paths, like what you were trying to do? Did it feel at any point like, am I supposed to be doing this, or how do I fit myself into this world?
No, I feel very blessed, I'd use that word, to come from the family that I come from, because my parents are very supportive. My dad actually sometimes on the pulpit would tell this congregation to go and stream. I've just released a project to go and stream. And I don't do gospel. See, that's the thing. When I started at first, a lot of people expected me to, Osofo Papa, you should be doing gospel music. And my dad, I remember having that conversation with my dad, and he was like, why not gospel? And I'm like, I felt like my life there's so much about my life that I want to share with music that I don't want to box it. It feels like if I say I'm a gospel artist, it feels very like restrictive. And not to say that I can't do that, but I want to be able to sing about any and everything. And it made sense to him. So people I remember he told me some time ago that people used to come to him and like, why is she not doing gospel? And he will ask you, is he your child? Did you pay school fees? Did you take care of her? So I'm like, they've been very, very supportive. Very, very, very supportive.
That's not even, well, it answers part of my question. That's not even what I was trying to get at. Not
Okay.
your dad or anybody else's reaction, but you personally as a Christian.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When I was coming up, I was coming from a Christian home. I wanted to rap. I was doing it on a very small level with my boys in the neighborhood. We'd go and perform at stuff. And then when it was starting to become very serious, because I think we went to the National Theatre to perform. And then now I was, fork in the road was like, we're about to do this. And yes, I was dealing with some type of resistance there, but my inner self to the fear, like, am I really supposed to be doing this? And I ended up not doing it at all, but I don't even know why to this day. I haven't thought through it. So I was just wondering, for people who have taken that bold step to live the full career, if there was that inner conflict.
Right, I get you now. I feel like for me, especially with faith, I would say it's only till very recently that I felt like I've connected properly. It felt very much like this is an environment I grew up in, and so it was like part of my routine. And so after a while, I started to. There was a time I was at church, and I'm like, why am I here? Because like I grew up here, yes, but like I wasn't really connecting. And for a while I actually stopped going to church because it didn't make sense to me. There are times when I was questioning my faith in general. As in, like I felt like being a Christian isn't something that should be like a birthright. Like, oh, my father is one, and so that's why I'm one.
Absolutely.
I wanted to make that decision for myself, and it didn't make sense at that time. And it was almost around the time I was starting music. So I wouldn't say at that time faith had anything to do with my music. At that period, it would probably, the only thing that would have blocked me would have been, okay, my parents and what they felt about what I was doing. It took a while to get to where I am, where I can say that it's something that I have personally connected with. Like, I'm here and it's like genuine. It's not influenced by anyone. I have had several experiences that have led me to this.
Wow.
To this,
That's fire.
Yeah.
So, do you still question your faith?
Not anymore.
Are you a staunch Christian now?
I would like to believe so.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I'm still growing. I wouldn't say I have the answers to so many things. There's still things I have questions to, but with regards to my faith and based on the things I've experienced, and there's so many, I don't question that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering why at that point in time you started to question. Were you going through something, or were you like, it could be anything, tired of life, tired of friends, tired of eating wachi or something, it could be anything. Why did you start to question at that point?
I think for me, like I said earlier, it felt like routine. It's like, you didn't, boring. Not necessarily, but it's like you don't really know why you are doing something, but because you grew up in a family where everybody's doing some, you are doing some, so it's like it's part of your life. So like every Sunday we go to church, and so sometimes I don't want to go to church, but like you have to go to church. And I'm like, I'm at church and I'm like, I'm not even listening because
you are watching.
Charlie, I'm doing things or chatting with my friend, and so for me it was like, why am I here? And if I am not here because I really genuinely want to be here, the way I see my parents, the way I see my siblings, some of my siblings, I want to feel, if it's not like that, then it doesn't make sense to me. So like for me, like,
Two questions.
Yeah.
What did your parents do, or how did they chip in when you were questioning? Because you said at a period you weren't going to church.
That was a conversation that I was very scared to have with them. We ended up talking about it later on, but it was a very scary conversation to have at that time. So I feel like in that moment, there was a lot of internal conflict. I would, if they insisted, I would go. But like I used to swerve those situations a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
You said you had two questions.
Second question is, why didn't you stay at that questioning phase? But you moved out of it, and now you are.
Because I had several experiences that are like experiences basically
around that time.
Yes. One of it is one of it is during that time was also around the music time. So it's like there was a lot going on. I was also battling depression. I mean, there was a lot going on. Bad relationships. Like I was in an abusive relationship at a point, and it felt like everything was happening concurrently. Wow. So the question of faith, even though it didn't necessarily have anything to do with the faith, I was living my life, but like everything happened at the same time. It got to a point where I was like, I'm really tired and I don't want to be here anymore. I wanted to exit existence, basically. And in that moment, my mom had drugs. Being a medical doctor, she had some medicine B that she was supposed to get rid of, and she hadn't, and I found them, and I was going to take them because like expired drugs, take it off myself. And so I was in my room. This is the very first, there have been several experiences, but this is the turning point. This is the why. So I got there and I had the drugs in my hand and I was going to swallow them, and I was crying, being the drama queen that I am. in that moment.
Yeah.
And I think I wasn't praying to God per se, because at that point I didn't even think there was a God to start with. So I'm like, yeah, if there's God, fine, then I guess I'll see you. If not, then Charlie, it's whatever. And before I put the pills in my mouth, I kid you not, like the way if I touch you right now, you feel that I have touched you. It felt like there was somebody in the room, and somebody actually hugged me. There was nobody in the room. I feel like, see the way I'm holding, like hold my hand. Like you can feel that.
Yeah.
Imagine you can feel that, but you can't see anybody. There were arms that literally hugged me. Like I can't hug, and I felt an overwhelming. I've never felt that much love in my life. Anytime I talk about this, I get very emotional.
One more
I've
time.
never felt that much love in my whole life. For me, I just felt it was God, because of what I know about God. Like I've gone through. It's routine. I know the Bible verses. I know all of that. So I started, and I knew that. Even though my dad was a pastor, I knew that's feeling. I didn't get it at my dad's church. So I started church hopping till I found the church that I currently go to. As soon as I walked through the doors, I felt that feeling when I felt. So I'm like, yeah, this is where I'm staying. And for me, I feel like people who call themselves Christians, I mean, there are so many reasons people might be, but you have to have a personal experience. And for me, this is mine. And nobody, like, there's nothing anybody can say. It's happened. And so for me, like, there's no questioning that.
You don't attend your father's church?
No, I don't.
So if that hand hadn't come to you at that point in time,
I will not be here. I wouldn't have. This was it was around the music this time. I would not be here.
Wow.
I've probably heard somewhere in there.
It sounds as though you had quite a normal childhood.
I would like to think so, yeah.
And what I mean by that is, a lot of times if you grow up in a household like that, you're even too scared to think outside of the doctrine. And so what I find as normal childhood is you get to the point where you question, you rebel, you find this. And to have parents who allow you to live that normal childhood, to circle back to where you circled back. Shout outs to them. I think wonderful parenting.
Bishop George Ajiman and Josephine Ajiman.
Bishop
Shouts.
George Ajiman.
Winners Chapel.
Yes.
Okay.
No. Oh.
Okay. All right. That's why I went to Bible school.
Oh, okay.
I know your dad.
Wow.
I think my mom was...
Fred, you went to Bible school?
Unfortunately.
Wait.
Fortunately.
Wow.
When we were in the crowd, one of my friends who was not a virgin, they were asking for the virgins, and she was going to raise her hand. And she looked across and saw me. She said, Fred, why cry? You sitting here? And she put her hand back down. That was my memory of Bible school. But Bishop Ajiman is, wow, small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was big in the church, so into the church. But anyway, I wanted to ask you about having been suicidal.
Yeah.
Finding that reason to live again because of the experience of that hug and that moment. How has that affected your work, if it has?
My music, you mean?
Both.
Oh, I mean, it's what has kept me going. Okay. I mean, even though that happened, it's not to say that I've not had down times and I don't still question things. Like I said, even being a Christian, it doesn't mean I have the answers to everything.
Of course. We still question.
There's still questions I still have, but the existence of God and wanting to have that relationship with God is very clear for me. I do not question that because, and this is just one of the experiences. There have been so many. If I say I want to talk about everything, we're not going into this. So it's like there's been confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. And so with regards to music, it's part of what even helped me come back to music, because at that period, a lot of things were happening outside, but even within the music, the questioning of myself, the not being prepared, feeling like it was, thrust on me all of a sudden. And then I had gotten into some bad deals with, a few labels that was not going too well. And I started to have serious anxiety, like bad panic attacks. And so I'd stopped for a while. But finding even how acting started, I feel like that is another testimony. Because nobody knew I acted. And at the time, I had just done like my first film, Bad Luck Joe. And it was like 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks into in the cinema. It just started screening at the cinemas.
Yeah.
And it was at that period that everything was horrible. This is when this happened. At that period, everything was really horrible. And I remember thinking to myself that the suicide thing had happened. So I was trying to figure out my life and moving on. And I told myself I wanted 3 things. I wanted to do something else because music was definitely not it for me. I wanted to be in a different environment. And I want to go for about 6 months. At that point in time, who knows? Even Ghanaians didn't know I was an actor. There was even somebody had done a post sometimes calling me an actor, and they're like, "Oh, they should get away." Somebody acts one film and you are calling the person an actor. Like, that's how it was. How on earth, till now, I do not understand how a production house in Nigeria contacted me to play in a series. So we're talking different location, which is what I prayed for. It was for 6 months, exactly the time I wanted, doing something else I loved, film. And
Were you praying out loud? I'm just kidding.
I mean, like I told you how I pray. I don't necessarily do the.
I don't do the kneel
The
down
sanctimonious.
unless something's. But prayer for me also is like just
It's like just
talking
conversation.
to.
Yeah.
Like I'm driving and then I could be talking and saying what I'm. So
Yeah, same.
you are manifesting, but these things came for you. Charlie, some of we make for change the way we pray. Because the things that they line up the way they line up for something.
But I'm sure she's also getting some spiritual backing from her dad.
Oh yeah, normal.
She is.
Normal.
She's also getting, backing.
Absolutely. No. I'm
So
blessed.
maybe
I'm not complaining.
that's why
I'm blessed.
hers is going faster than yours.
We thank God.
Yeah.
We thank God for
So
that.
you said you said finding Adomaa. You said it like a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah.
And that's the title of
Becoming Adomaa. The
Becoming
project.
Adomaa.
Yes, Becoming Adomaa.
Is it a film or a documentary or
It's
how?
everything.
What
It's a
would you
music
call it?
project. It's a film and it's
Okay.
a documentary.
Okay.
It's all together.
Yeah. So I watched it and it basically it's about your journey.
Yes.
For what purpose or what reason did you think, or why did you put out a film? I think it's a film
Yeah.
slash
Plus,
documentary.
yeah.
Why did you think
The film was
this was the
necessary.
right time to put out a film about your journey?
So for me, I feel like I would never have come back into active music making if I didn't have this opportunity I got in Nigeria saved my life literally, because apart from the suicide attempts, now you've escaped that, and I know that I can't kill myself anymore. But Charlie, you are still dealing, and the thoughts are still there. It's just that I know that I will not be allowed anymore. God will not allow me basically for that to happen. But like, there's still stuff that is there and issues, and it felt like I was burning up on the inside, and having to go to another country to work on something else I really loved for an extended period of time saved my life. And so coming back, I feel like if that acting opportunity hadn't come, I wouldn't have been in a good place when I came back, because I came back basically a lot more stable mentally to say I'm coming to now work on myself. That's when I started therapy. And
I was just going to ask you that.
yeah, I
if you've
did.
had-
I did. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have come back to music. So I feel like it's such a pivotal part of my story. If the film hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here. So it's like my love for acting brought me back to music. So I felt like coming back to music, I needed to pay, like an ode to that. And so I wanted to tell the story, and I wanted to put it in a film and the documentary as well.
Yeah, I would say a big chunk of that film spoke about your music journey.
Yeah.
Then the acting came in
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
Should we look at a film which will have a big chunk of your acting? Because now I want to know how it was like moving to Nigeria.
Right.
Yeah. How
I mean,
was it like?
let's
How was the experience
let's
like?
let's
you know,
see. Let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not supposed to say this, but I'll say it because it's you.
Mm,
It's like a 3-part story.
Oh,
So
okay, cool. Okay.
so this is like
Exclusive,
the music. Yeah,
exclusive.
this is like the music angle. There's another angle, and there's another angle,
Okay,
and
cool,
so all of that. By the time we finish everything, you'd get the full story.
So now you're back full time to making music. So how different are you now from like before?
I feel like right now, dear, being in the industry too for a very long time.
You're now a guru. You know the insights.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying I've not been
Yeah.
here for forever.
Yeah.
So there's still stuff that I'm learning and all of that. But like, I have a good sense of who I am, what I want. At the time, I didn't even know what I want. It's anywhere they say go, then we go. Because like,
you have a new team.
not really. I mean, I work with there are newer people, but I still have some of the OGs from back in the day still.
So you have a new manager.
Yeah.
And some of the old
Are still there, yeah.
So your bad experiences was literally with the outside of your team.
The outside, yes.
Music
Yes,
industry.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
got
yes,
it.
Yeah, so right now I feel like I'm grounded, a lot more grounded.
How do you see, talking about the music industry, how do you see the music industry that we have in Ghana?
It's growing. We are trying.
But there's no
Why?
money.
Why are you laughing?
No, the way you said it's growing.
No.
We are trying.
We are trying. We really are. I feel like the
Yeah.
artists are really. They're really.
But
really
I'm not
trying.
even talking about the artists, like the system itself.
The system is so broken, and I don't know if I don't want to say that because I don't know if that's how it is, but like it's very, very broken, and there's a lot to work on to get things working as it should. But with regards to us doing the best that we can in this, with giving what we have, I think we're doing amazing.
So are you back to making shows, like having shows?
Yes.
How many shows have you had since you came back?
You see, at the time I came back was when we went to Switzerland. So that was there. So it's been quite a number since then.
Dope.
Yeah.
You spoke of your father supporting you,
Yeah.
and your mother supporting you.
Yeah.
How many shows of
Have they
yours
been?
have they been?
My mom has been to one.
One.
Yes, my mom has been to.
Nah.
My mom has been to one. My dad would have loved to be in several of them, but you see, church is Sunday morning, and most of the shows is Saturday evening.
Yeah.
So it's but
He has to prepare.
Yes,
So,
but
your dad has never been to
my
it?
dad. No, my dad has. He's been to. I know. I'm very sure my mom has been to one, but my dad has
But
been
why
to
do
maybe
one out of all the shows that?
It's the
Doctor,
same
schedule.
doctor schedule. It's a
She
very
can be called at
scheduled
any
thing.
time.
Yeah, it's a very scheduled thing.
Emergency.
Wow.
Yeah, but I even featured my dad on one of my songs at the
I
beginning.
remember something like
At
that.
the beginning, yeah. He was very happy.
He seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, very,
Yeah,
very
I
cool.
like that.
Yeah.
So why the haircut?
Oh, so honestly,
It looks good, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But honestly, I was just tired.
Thank you.
I was
Thank you, Charlie.
You were tired of
I was
the
just
fro.
tired. Not necessarily of the fro, but like I didn't have time to
keep
take
it.
care of it because it involves a lot,
I know.
and so you have to be very active.
Natural hair is not a joke
Charlie,
to take care of.
and
Like-
I wasn't, so it wasn't healthy, and it just felt like a big blob, like just a mess. It's just
And please, what pomade or cream do you use to do your baby hairs? Like, do you?
Shout out to Nate the barber
Nate the
because
barber,
I just
okay.
go there and sit down and he
And
does
then
this.
he,
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah.
I like your baby hairs.
Thank
you. A whole lot. What's
Thank
your
you.
What's your skin?
Hey!
What's
Skincare routine.
Yeah, skincare routine. What are some of the tips that you would give guys like us, or how do you take
Drink
care
water.
of your skin?
Drink water.
We all drink water.
That's why you have
some
flawless
beer.
skin. Can you see your skin is
Yeah.
glowing?
As for my skin, I don't have any issue with
Exactly,
that. I've
because
been
you
using
drink
shea
water.
butter all my life.
That's the second thing I was going to say.
Yeah, I've been using shea butter all my life. So I mean, my skin is flawless, but I
Exactly.
need some tips from.
It's the same
From
thing.
you.
It's the
Oh,
same
really?
thing.
You don't do
drink
anything
water
to
and share. No, not
to your skin?
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Drink water, mind your business.
And mind your business.
And use shea
Fred,
butter.
do you have any skin
My
routine?
skin is terrible, but I do mind my business.
Do you drink water though?
A lot. I don't know. I feel like my face is not.
Yeah, it's not as bad.
It's horrible.
Like there are no spots.
I don't see what
The rest of my
what's-
skin, I'm fine with, but my face, I think.
But I don't see what is terrible about
Yeah.
this though. I'm not
Really?
seeing it.
I'm seeing plenty spots. Maybe I'm looking
No.
too much in the mirror.
I can't see. I can't see.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
can't.
So I want to take a detour
Okay.
a little, even
Okay.
though we are still talking about you. What kind of songs are you into? Aside your songs, like who do you listen to? Do you get inspired by some people locally, internationally? Like who do you take inspiration from, and what's on your playlist?
I listen to a lot of jazz, a lot of soul, a lot of blues.
Oh, wow.
And even though like for the longest time, that's all I listened to. So apart from like the very, 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 very big hits that you can't help but hear, I really didn't know what was going on around at all.
Yeah.
But right now, of course, I'm in the industry, so I listen to a lot more. It's expanded a bit, but innately, I still listen to a lot of jazz and so.
Blues
Yeah.
doesn't go well with depression, does it?
No, not necessarily.
It's triggering.
It's very tricky. It's very tricky, but it could also be
Soothing
Yeah,
and-
soothing. It
yeah.
has that effect as well.
Do you listen to Ray LaMontagne?
To who?
Ray LaMontagne. Have you heard of him? Okay.
No.
All right. Anyway, that's not an important question. But Tombo was saying something about what you're listening to outside of yourself.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of your own music?
Yes. Now I am.
Okay.
Oh wow! So back then you
Back then, like I said, I was going with the flow. So like, I liked it, but I wouldn't have said I was a fan, but I really liked it.
locally, who are you listening to?
So I listen to a lot of Nigerian artists. I'm a huge fan of Oxlade. I've been listening to Afro beats and Afro pop as well. So I'm a huge fan of Oxlade.
Is this
Chill
Afro pop
Boy.
really a thing, or is something that's Brenner was trying to get away with?
I have no idea.
Oh, no, he says Afro
Benna
fusion.
says, Benna says he does Afro fusion.
Okay, Afro pop. Yeah, I guess it's a thing.
Why do you guess?
I'm trying to. I want to say what I want to say properly. So let me say it quickly. The popness of the genre, and I just have an issue with us attaching Afro to everything Western, and then it becomes.
Right.
But that's just some long wormhole we don't want to go on. But I feel like I wish we had a name for it by itself, like High Life, as opposed to Afro pop or Afro funk or Afro whatever, because when you look at it deeply, actually they were taken from us.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like, we don't know what we gave them, and now we're trying to attach ourselves to what they've already. It's like when somebody says Cubism, for instance. Picasso.
Picasso, yeah.
He's still on our things right now. We did try. Anyway.
Do you have a favorite instrument?
Yes. The
Which is-
saxophone.
A sax? Do you play?
So I've taken the theory in it, and I basically know how it works. I just need to practice so that I can actually play out.
But do you
But I
play
know.
any instrument?
I when I was young, I used to play the flute recorder. I was actually very good at it, but it's been a while I touched that. But yeah, I used to play that.
Okay. Wow. I thought you played an instrument.
Not properly.
Not
All the
properly.
instruments I play is not. I need to practice so that I can actually
Yeah,
play out.
How do you train your voice?
So it boils down to the things I eat. Sometimes sleeping, all of those. Like generally, I feel like singing is like the Olympics, as my vocal coach would say. It's like the Olympics. You train every day. It's everything basically.
There are specific foods that encourage or help your vocal cords.
For me personally, my vocal coach did mention that it's important to stay away from dairy.
Okay.
Because it generates a lot of mucus in your throat, and it impedes. It could affect your tone, and it just impedes your singing in general. So I don't do dairy anymore.
Wow. So you don't
Is it for
drink
people
milk?
in general or just
No,
you
I
specifically?
don't. I had to stop.
Butter?
If I say I want to do this professionally, I have to stop. I don't do dairy anymore.
And have you seen any change since?
Yes, I actually have.
So you don't eat butter?
No.
Hey, this is a commitment.
Wow.
Serious commitment.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't eat eggs?
And I really love milk, so that's a whole. it's a
Ice
thing.
cream is a no-no.
Hey.
So what treats do
love
you give
yogurt.
yourself?
The way I love yogurt, I can't take you. Yeah.
No.
I mean, there are other things.
Is
things
gelato
you can-
considered something that you can have?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I do a lot of fruits now, though, and the good thing is it's healthy. So like I do a lot of fruits right now, especially the citrusy ones because they are like healing. They help
Okay.
with you.
Adomaa, what brings you peace?
God, music, and family.
And family.
Yeah.
And do you have all of this, like?
That was very quick and specific how she
Yeah,
came up
yeah,
with that.
yeah,
I like
Yeah.
this.
And like, they are all working for you. God,
God,
is on your
absolutely.
side. Family,
Music,
And
yes.
family.
music
yes.
is.
So I'm
Wow.
very peaceful right now.
We thank God. But I wanna go a little bit back to where you had come from
Yeah.
in terms of being depressed, being in an abusive situation, and then I'm just trying to imagine your life.
Yeah.
Firstborn of a very prominent, now that I know who your dad is,
Yeah.
prominent preacher, pastor, huge congregation, and then all of the chaos around you, but you still navigating it. Mental health is a big thing now. We all talk about it because when we were younger, it wasn't something that maybe came up as much.
Yeah.
Do you feel like depression is a consequence of the era that we live in or grew up in, where it seems to me that a lot of us mention depression as part of our experience than when I was growing up, where I heard it from maybe the older generation and whatnot. So my question is, do you feel like depression, mental health, all of that is a consequence of the era and the circumstances, environment that we grew up in? Or is this something that was always there, but we never put a label to, or, and if, depending on your answer, how do you feel any sense of responsibility, especially because you're in the limelight and the career that you've chosen, you're going to be front-facing to the public.
Yeah.
Do you feel any weight on your shoulders to shed more light on that, maybe for the younger you who may not be lucky enough to feel that hug that you felt, but still is, wanting to make it through?
Yeah, I feel like basically the second option you said, depression has always been there, but I feel like in the generation that we're in, or in this era, we've been able to label it and understand it. At that time, we probably didn't know what it was. It was boiled down to just a feeling. But right now, there's a lot that, that explains what it is. And so, yeah, there's that. And I do definitely feel a sense of responsibility, especially going through it myself. So at the time I was going through, I didn't even know. Like, if you had asked me, was I depressed at that time? I did not know that I was depressed. I just knew I was constantly sad and I had gotten suicidal, but it never crossed my mind that there was a name for it. But
Not to get too into your business, but was it triggered, those sad phases? Was it the state of your relationship then that started letting you realize that your sadness was constant, or was it other things that were happening around you, or a mix of?
I think the first time it probably really clicked was there was a period where I didn't leave my room. So I hadn't taken a shower in a while.
For
I
how
wasn't
long?
eating. It was a while. But like,
Wow, like
I
3
don't want to
days.
say it
or
because
like-
if I say it,
don't worry,
was
you've bathed it away. Like, you bath for
it
more.
was a while. But I wasn't eating for like 2 weeks. So
Wow.
it was a very drastic weight loss. And I hadn't been out. So the
like
time
nothing at all.
barely, it was just probably water, even that one safe. Like, my appetite was gone. It wasn't like I was starving myself. I just didn't want to eat. And so the first time I stepped out, the reaction I got from people, because now I was like a walking...
Were you living on your own?
No, I wasn't. I was staying with my family. But
But they let you be like no one
yeah,
was,
generally, yeah.
okay.
So stepping out and seeing people's reaction, it's when I realized that there was something, like I knew there was something wrong because like this had been ongoing, but to see the reactions, like, oh, there's something actually wrong, like it's very serious. So I think that's when it clicked. But at the time when all of those things were happening, I just took it as his life. Like Mutombo said, like there are good times, there are bad times. This is just, for me, it just felt like a back to back of the bad. I didn't really put a name that, okay, I'm depressed and I'm going through. No, I never did that. But it was after that time I stepped out and people like, God, you've lost so much weight. This was very scary. Yeah, that's when I realized, okay, there's something wrong.
Wow. Well, we're glad you made it through, and now you're here to.
What did you go to school for?
I
what did you read? What did you
I
study?
studied mass communication journalism.
Oh wow, where?
Yeah. Ghana Institute of Journalism, GIJ.
So have you practiced?
Yeah, I was practicing.
Oh wow.
Oh, I worked at graphic showbiz for
Oh, wow.
a while. I worked at
Doing what?
I was their entertainment. I had a column.
Mm.
Yeah, if you go way back, you might see my name somewhere there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Nob was the editor at the time.
Oh
I worked there, and then I worked at First Digital
yeah.
for a while, and then I worked at VAS at one.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
I was
you've
at
been
VAS
around.
at when the music. In fact, they were parts because the day I put the Bafira mashup, I was at work actually the night before, and they had just uploaded the video. So I
Oh,
was
wow.
watching it, and then one of the co-workers came and was like, "Oh, wait, is that you?" And then I was trying to cover it, but yeah, they watched it and they're like, "Nah, this is going on TV tomorrow." I'm like, I was big, please, no, but yeah.
Oh wow.
So there were parts because Vice was big then. So to have your music right there was part of the reason to blow up.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh, so you have a journalism
Oh,
background.
I even worked with Ghana celebrities.
Oh wow.
Chris.
Oh
Vince,
oh
yeah.
what? Yeah.
I worked for.
What drew you to journalism?
I wouldn't say it's something I was very passionate about per se, because I've always been a very quiet person. So meeting
Yeah.
people and all of that is very tricky. But I like the writing aspect of it. I journal a lot and I write
took you for a
lot.
writer.
Yeah,
That's what I
so
was
that's
asking.
that's the angle I was going.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask if you have plans of writing a book.
Necessary.
You know what? You know where I'm going to.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'll
but maybe write
I'll probably make
I
a
am
movie.
Adomaa.
I am not
I am
Adomaa.
No, you are Adomaa. Yeah, do you have
I'll
plans?
probably make a movie. It's
oh, wow.
it's more my thing right now. Yeah.
So
I'll
wait,
probably
would you
make a
take
movie.
you know, films over books?
Not really.
Are you a reader?
Yeah, are you a reader? Do you enjoy reading?
It has declined a little bit because when I was little, you barely see my face. There's always a book in my face. But I still read. No, but I wouldn't pick.
My eyes are failing me, so now they're reading. I do a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah, I love audiobooks.
Audiobooks.
Yeah.
But that's trash to a certain
Wow.
degree.
I know what you mean. I've
I get
gotten
it.
myself
Yeah.
accustomed to it, but I hate the way they read.
Yeah.
I hate the way, and it's taken away from the experience. I'm refusing to wear glasses, so my cousin just bought me a good something, Confessions of an Economic Hitman, and he's been pestering me. Have you read it? Have you read it? I'm like, bro, like I know what this guy's already talking about. I don't want to even, but then I have to. So now I've been listening to an audio, but anything that I have to read now, I just go on YouTube. I find the audiobook. This one is 9 hours.
Reading wouldn't get you distracted. You mean when I'm listening, I do other things whilst I'm listening, so I don't really pay attention. But anytime I pick, even if it's a line, it
You're
stays.
inside.
You know, it's you know,
Reading is powerful. I used to do
Yeah.
a lot of it when I was younger.
Very, yeah.
Like I was always stuck in the book, but I think I got jaded at a point because I read so many books that when I pick up a book now, most of the time, by first chapter, I kind of feel like I know where this is going, and I'm seldom wrong. It's I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but it's like the wackest feeling in the world because when I pick up, then I'm like, oh, this is where they're going, this is where they're going, this.
Yeah.
And then if I go through the book and it's that, I'm like, I'm so
Yeah,
deflated
you said it.
because
Yeah.
Oh, so that means you read for the destination, not for the journey. Because I might know where the book is going, but like I just want to see how we get there.
Yeah,
And
so maybe I'm a destination guy. Nobody has ever contextualized it like this for me. But all the things that you are doing, I know this is where you're going. So I'm like, hey, my friend, hurry up and get there. I don't care if you screamed here and somebody was trying to hit you with the axe there. In the end, you shot him and killed. So I know you're not going to die here, kind of thing. Because I'm able to pick up the characters and know what they're doing or where they're going to, or their role in the entire story. So it takes away the joy of what I used to experience when I was a kid, and I don't go through that anymore. But movies, I love. I love
but movies, you can also tell where the movie.
But you see, they are not making, like, how this show that was a big deal. Oh, come on. The Korean guy. Or
Squid Game?
Squid
yeah.
Game.
That was crazy to me when I first experienced it because nobody was expecting. I don't know. Nobody was expecting. So I'm like, okay, this is what movies used to do for me. Nowadays, a lot of movies are remakes and just action. So I'm not really into that. But when I need to watch a movie, I'll go back and pick something old where I didn't know the story and then.
But you know the story now, or you make yourself forget the story.
The old movies? No. I mean, that's something I haven't seen before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so maybe it's a movie that I had been like. I have a list of maybe Pacino movies. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen Dog Day Afternoon. I've seen Injustice for All. So maybe one in the one title. I'll just go and pick it up and entertain myself.
Adomaa, you are the second actor that we are having on the podcast. The first one was my very good friend James Gardner. Shouts to
James. His name is Timothy.
Oh yeah, am I
Uncle Timo.
On the show?
What?
His real name is Timothy.
Yes, his middle.
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
James
So I grew up with
Timothy
him. James was like, we are
Oh,
childhood friends. Yeah,
right.
yeah. And we threw him a challenge.
Okay.
We gave him a scenario.
Okay.
For him to act out.
So you want to do the same to me?
I mean,
wow. Okay.
we just want to give you
Wow,
a little
that's
bit
lot
of
pressure. Okay.
We want to have fun.
Okay.
Fred, should I give her? Did you have a scenario?
No, you come on. I know you've already been dreaming about this scenario. I
No,
can't
do you know
take
something? It just this question just popped into
But it's you are the director.
yeah.
Please
So,
do it.
You come to your house after a hard day's work. You are married. Your husband is supposed to be in the house. Your husband of 5 years. So you don't come to the house after a hard day's work. Let me change it. Something happens at work, so you come home a little bit early.
Okay.
So you get home at 12 noon instead of 5 p.m. You open the door. Your husband is there meeting you in the living room or wherever. You try to get into the room. He stops you, tries to distract you. You finally enter the room, enter the bathroom, and there is a hot female. Hot female, fully clothed. Fully clothed.
That part was necessary.
Yeah, fully clothed. But she's looking shabby. Hair everywhere, makeup gone, part black, part with pons. How would you react?
I think that's exactly what is going on in my face right now. Because what's going on? I mean, if there were clothes off, that's a completely different reaction.
So he's trying to get you to act it all out from the door.
From the
Not even from the door. Like that moment you see the second woman.
Care to explain do I know the person in this scenario?
No.
I don't know the person.
Fresh girl.
Is it fresh?
What is
Chupa
it?
chops.
Fresh? Oh, it's a nice girl.
Nice. Like, yeah, she's
I need
taste.
more context.
She is taste. Like,
okay. So the makeup and the shabbiness, is it as a result of making out that has?
Yes.
Oh, that's
so when you knocked, she hurriedly had to dress up and was trying to hide in the
Adomaa, you're a very trusting person. Very. Because they're preventing you from entering the room. Oh, she's in mood.
Yeah.
But you missed that part.
I mean, what?
You're in acting mood.
So now go.
And then I walk away.
Wow, Jesus is Lord. If I'm your man, I'll be so thankful.
I used to be very violent. I'm not violent anymore, so
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Okay, so let's say you have to ask your husband one question or two questions. I want you to give me
A different
short-
person.
A different person. Let's say
Portray
your
an
name
actress.
your name is Shaniqua in the film. Shaniqua comes home
That
and
is so.
I know what you want to say.
I
But
was
we
going
won't
to,
say it.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, like give me like a short performance.
But the mic is right in front of
No,
you.
don't worry. You don't have to move.
The words.
Just the words and the facial expression. Yeah, get in there.
Da-da, da-da.
Shocked.
Wow. Wow.
No, but a scream means that
Response.
you have worked for nothing.
Yeah.
You weren't done.
I was going to grab somebody.
You're-
was going to-
No, but a scream was
Yeah, that was.
like you have worked for nothing, because when you were quiet and like thinking, oh Charlie, is this it? Like, is this what happens?
Yeah, there's no
Then you
coming back from that scream.
And even your face.
Yeah. There's no coming back from that. That was
Is
that
it-
felt real.
Yeah, is it easy to flip your face? Is it to cry?
Okay, so how it works for me, I'd like to think that
Charlie
that's how
scream, Charlie.
No,
Wow.
that
why,
felt
you
real.
see, that's why I asked the mic be
Yeah,
everything. was-
that's
Okay, so I feel like what helps me when I'm acting, and it's probably what works with all other actors as well, is because like we go through different emotions, sadness, anger, all of that, but being able to act is being able to pull on those emotions at will. So when you gave me a scenario, I just pictured and put myself literally in a space where something like that, I mean, not the same thing, but like very close, and how I would feel in a situation like that. And then it's very easy to bring that out. So that's how
is it difficult for you to get into character?
No.
It's not difficult at all. And crying, is it difficult to cry? At all? You can cry on
I mean,
on the fly.
the thing is, when I went to Nigeria, I was actually advised to stop because
stop
I
crying?
used to stop immersing myself so much. You see, I was
wow.
coming from a lot, being depressed and
So
everything.
you
So,
got- you have
the
pumped
story,
everything
the
inside.
story that you are giving me is not hard cry. The influence or the scenarios is plenty. So like they give me like a very sad this thing. Don't take long. I'm there. But and then the tears and everything. But where it got hard is coming out because like we're shooting different things. So you have to move from here to another one. At a point the director was like, you know what, we'll give you fake tears because I'm scared. And you see, I was going through a lot and I hadn't done therapy. I hadn't done so. It was like, you don't do that again because where you are going, where we are. So yeah, it's very, it's,
Wow.
yeah, I feel like it's
What is fake tears? Like, is it?
or probably like they'd say
Oh,
cuts
okay,
and put
okay,
like maybe
oh,
tears
wow.
here. So when you say action, you blink and then it falls.
Is it true that they sometimes smear rub
Yeah,
under your eyes?
yeah.
and then-
I've done that.
Oh wow!
once, like,
And
you put
then
it-
and then you cry.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't cry.
You know,
Really?
Charlie, yeah.
50 Cent says he cries. Well, he did it. So he cries on demand as an actor.
50 Cent?
Yeah. And he
The
did
hard
it on.
guy.
Yeah.
I don't know
And-
what you heard about
Yeah, I mean-
him.
He said he takes himself to like some dark place. It was something about walking in the house into his grandma's house or something and remembering his mom.
Yo, I can't
dying.
cry.
Yeah.
Chai.
You've told me that.
Yeah, I can't cry.
Yeah.
My mom died. I
Like
didn't
not-
cry.
Like not even happy tears?
No. One time, the last time that I properly cried.
I'm coming. If you cut onions, will you cry?
Yeah, so I even sent a tweet sometime because I was crying every time I cut onions, but I found a trick. I put them in water for some time. And
So you don't want to cry?
Because I'm not a crier.
No, but the onions were making you cry. You put them in water
No, but
so that you will not.
isn't as a result. I'm as a result of anything at all. That's a result of cutting onions and the chemicals or whatever coming out is making me tear up. It's not even crying. It is just tearing up. My mom died. I never cried. The last time that I properly cried was like over 10 years ago, and it's crazy. Songs. The last 2 times that I cried, they were because of songs.
Yeah, you told
The first song was.
I want to know what song.
This year, I would say the first song was Jay-Z's and Never Change,
Okay.
and the second one was Welcome Home by Osibisa.
Welcome Home made you cry?
Yeah, I have no idea why. And that one, I was going for a walk. I was from my friend's house to my house, and I was listening to it on my MP3 player, and I started to cry.
Me, I'm the inquisitive person. When I found out about Never Change making him cry and Welcome Home making him cry, I want to say that I feel like I know why.
Why?
And maybe I don't. But those songs, the correlation between the two, maybe from an artistic standpoint, it may not make sense, but this is how I relate. Because I know Welcome Home, and Never Change. It's about stability.
Yeah.
The essence of both songs about stability, like not changing your core essence, right? And the person that I know Mutombo to be is like he's down to the soil. So everything that has happened to you, happened around you, it feels like sometimes you feel like your journey has been lonely.
Yeah.
But
lonely. Yeah.
But then there are times where you're like, I can't help it. This is the place I'm supposed to be. So maybe they're triggering things that are making you feel like sometimes I want to escape, but I know that this is my cup of tea.
Jay-Z's Welcome Home gives me hope.
No, Jay-Z's Never Change, you mean?
Yeah. I feel Jay-Z's Never Change gives me hope because of the things that he was talking about. I feel that song was made for me.
Yeah.
And Osibisa's Welcome.
You're loyal to the core.
Yeah, Osibisa's Welcome Home. The words. The melodies.
It just feels like a therapy.
Yeah.
We always have therapy
Therapy
here.
session.
So you're welcome to join us some more. But what makes you cry?
Oh, I cry. I'm a crier. Everything.
Really?
Yeah, I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. I cry when I'm frustrated. I cry. Yeah, everything. That's why I cry. I'm a crier.
Have you felt like you were being victimized because of your tears before?
No.
Like somebody was like not taking you seriously because like you're just crying to try and manipulate the situation.
Every day she cries.
Okay, and that's maybe my mom.
Okay.
Because like sometimes I remember at a point when I was growing up and like I said I cry.
The Nigerian just came out
everything.
briefly.
What did I
Growing
say?
up.
When I was growing, I said that.
Yeah.
When I was growing up,
Yeah.
my mom and we'd sometimes have like disagreements and everything. And I'd start crying. Stop crying. It's like it shows like almost sounds like you're not emotionally mature, and like you said, like you're trying to manipulate so that I'll see your tears and that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not even trying to do anything. I'm just frustrated. Like so I did have that, but like it's not. It's
a different because I experienced it one time. I was in the thick of a terrible situation. And she started crying. I was so upset. Because I'm like, you're robbing me of the opportunity to have the conversation I'm trying to have. I'm trying to have a serious conversation, a logical conversation. And then when the tears come in, it's like, I ask black and white questions, very darting questions. And it's almost like I'm being heartless, but I'm like, in this moment, we need the truth.
Yeah.
I don't need your tears to be distracting.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you, because for a natural crier like yourself, where it's not intentional, I also see from your perspective where it's like, Charlie, Shada say you won't cry, but the person thinks you're trying to manipulate them. And that has to be double frustrating because you want to shut the tears off, but it's coming and you can't really have the right conversation because the person is also thinking you're trying to manipulate them and it changes the whole dynamic of the conversation.
Yeah. So limit your crying.
Wow. I love you just summarized it for us. Oh boy.
Wow, Charlie. I mean, so far so good. What's the rest of 2023 looking like for you?
I'm working on a project, but I don't know if it will come out this year. Yeah, but like I said, becoming Adomaa is like the first of 3.
Yeah.
Don't. Okay, no, it's going to. I was going to say don't let it go out, but like that's
all part of.
That's the point of this.
If more or less device exclusivity, guys, you can only hear it here.
There are 2 others.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
There are 2 others, and of course, life goes on because like there's always something to talk about in the music. Yeah.
Do. Fred.
Yeah.
You have the last question today.
I do. How you've been told you're pretty?
I mean, I didn't need anyone to tell.
Okay. That's
Okay, so you know you are pretty.
Pretty, yeah. That's where we like
Period.
to live.
Period.
How much of it do you think impacts your marketability? Why people are calling for work and da-da-da?
I think it impacts it a lot. I don't like that I'm saying, but it does. Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, by the way.
It just sometimes I feel like it distracts from what I want to like, especially when it comes to like the music or when I'm working. Like there's a lot that I want you to take from this, but it's distracting because this is not the point. But I guess in situations too, it also helps. So yeah.
I was just having, when we had a first conversation, and I was asking because I thought you probably experienced a level of that too.
Yeah.
But my takeaway from that is we all have peculiar advantages in life because of our unique traits. Yeah. He's tall, right? So when he walks in a room, you feel his presence. That might draw somebody's attention right away. It's different from maybe another person who is muscular, another person who's short, another person who's pretty or handsome or whatever. So I just want to say that whatever attributes you've been blessed with naturally, shout out to that. There's nothing wrong with somebody being able to advance because of their peculiar traits. So stay pretty.
Yeah. Charlie, it's been over an hour of...
Oh, and by the way, thanks for spending so much time with us.
Yeah, this was fun.
We got caught up with time.
So you're sure none of this... Okay, it's fine.
It was dope.
I was going to say, you're sure none of this was planned?
No.
The way the questions were coming, it felt very it's like a very cohesive conversation.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why that's why I truly love this podcast with Mutombo, because I have never, sometimes he will prod me, Fred, go and check the notes. And it's not that I'm stubborn and I don't want to do it, but honestly, every time we sit down, there was a moment where I was like in awe of the question, because he was like, when you look at your phone and when you look at yourself. And there was another question before that was like very well thought out. And I'm like, oh, that opens up a window to so many other things that I want to talk about. We weren't able to ask you all of them. Believe me, there are questions that are stuck in my head, unfortunately, but I'm sure we'll see you again. But that's why I love the energy of it, because I've never seen any of our guests feel uncomfortable in their seat. Like, these people seem like disorganized, and there's a pause, and they're like, oh, Charlie, so what make we talk next? It never happens, and I love it that way.
I mean, most of my questions came from things you said. Yeah. Some of my
so we love that spirit of the podcast,
and also we love your colorful outfit.
Yeah. And please share with your followers. I know.
we love your colorful outfit.
We want some of
you
your
know. Do you like your jewelry? Because I see rings and.
Today I decided to wear, but not really.
Yeah, you don't really like jewelry.
Not really putting it.
Yeah.
The gold.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
sorry. Not really soft. Then the day go really dear.
Yeah.
We really go no.
We really got no.
Wow.
Really.
I almost didn't wear these.
Yeah.
No,
I
compliments.
this is your chance. Do you have one question for us? Any question at all?
What made you decide to do this?
Wow. What made us decide to do this?
To start this podcast.
We were bored.
Yeah, that's a lie.
I'm joking. I mean, so personally, we realized that, we had so much to talk about. Anytime I met with Fred, we were talking about everything. I even went to his house to interview him one time for a podcast, which is still on my Instagram page.
I was fat.
You were big.
I was like feeling.
Yeah.
When I looked at the video, I was like, "Boy, don't put this shit out."
Yeah.
But it was cool. Like,
I could see his passion for Ghana. His issues, so many issues. Anytime Fred saw me, he had an issue and all that. Sometimes I'll go like, this guy's talking to this guy's talking to.
I know I do that to people, but I've toned it down. I've become a better person.
And so I'm like, child, let's start a podcast because I have so many things to talk about. I know people, amazing people like you, who we can tap into, who we can have, and we started. And so far, it's been smooth.
Yeah, and for me, I'd say I got to a point maybe 5 years ago where it was always on the radar. I was discussing it with my brothers. I was thinking about doing one by myself, yada yada. But like Mutombo said, I can be a talkative. So I realized that quickly and early in the game. I was like, I don't want to hear just my voice in the room because I want to talk to people who disagree with me. I want to hear other ideas, other people's perspectives, because the truth of the matter is, and that I'm grateful for, I know that wisdom and knowledge does not live in one head. I've never been too in love with myself to believe that I'm right on every issue. But this podcast specifically, the reason why I was all over it and jumped, and I was so glad Mutombo came to me, because when he came to me, I was like, okay, I didn't know why, because he has a large circle of, people in the industry who are capable of talking on mics and have an opinion. So for him to come to me and say, we should do this, I think he's a deliberate person. And it made me also take it and say, okay, he must want to do this with me for a reason. So I immersed myself in it, and it's been wonderful. I love talking to people like you, like from all walks of life. Last season, we talked about fatherhood, death, grief. This season, we've not been specific topics, but we've had interesting personalities who've had wonderful journeys we can tap into. And so, yeah.
Dope.
Yeah. Thank you for your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You helped us promote the podcast. It was an alley-oop. And did we dunk it?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Adomaa, we thank you for coming through the Let's Divide podcast.
Yes, sir.
Chai guys, you for go check out, in film. Is it out? Is it film out?
At the moment, we're doing like private screening, but the film got selected for Accra Indie Festival.
Oh, shout.
So between the 31st of July to 5th of August, come to the Alliance and
1st of July to 5th of August.
5th of August, so
wow.
you get to watch.
We'll pull up.
Yeah.
We'll have to pull up and show some love.
Dope.
Awesome.
And Chai, I'm looking forward to more films from you. Actual films. From
I did
you.
want to be an actor at some point, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, Charlie, guys, do skas.
Yeah.
Ogba.
Bluffo.
Ni Ogbami. Charlie.
Ata Ugba.
Yeah, so we can take out again.
Yeah.
So guys, do follow the podcast, full videos on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We are everywhere. The F More Let's Divide Fred.
And on YouTube, yes, sir.
The F More Let's Divide Fred.
Yes, sir.
Me Ogba, me special.